Great to have you with us. Let's take the details. Now, some students of the Ghana School of Law are calling for investigations into the alleged leaked entrance exam. The students want the General Legal Counsel to recommend cancellation and resitting if claims are found to be true. They spoke to Joy News.
I woke up quite early next morning, Saturday, and saw the question I had taken the previous day with the marking scheme sent to me by a friend. And I was surprised because the papers were taken from all of us. Indeed, part of the instruction was that we should put down our index numbers on the question papers and that they were going to be taken. So where from that paper that I saw in less than 24 hours after the examination, if a shot was taken by an invigilator, then that's supposed to be question 1, which we took. But what is making the round is question 6. So it gives you indication that this was in the public domain before we took the paper. Yeah. It is clear that people had prior knowledge of the question before we took the paper. Another thing that happened, the halls did not start the exam at the same time. My hall finished my examination 30 minutes before other halls finished. 30 minutes on the same campus.
How can you go and toil, suffered for almost about 3 years to prepare for an examination of which we are going to take only one topic? A question will be set on only one topic, of which it comprises about 10 subjects. And then we come out to see that some people are having prior knowledge to the question that we are going to solve. What we're going to see is that those who will be able to obtain high marks, they will get the opportunity to go. So what about those of us who genuinely entered there and did the things genuinely?
We want to be assured that there will be fairness in the conduct of the examination. That is the point. It's not just about dissolving. We ought to see beyond that. Yes.
Okay. Now, away from the substantive issue of the cancellation of results, and then you saying that the IEB should be dissolved, you also raised an issue some people would consider as, for want of a better word, petty. You said that the question papers, the answer booklets that were given to you were actually basic BCE examination booklets.
It's one of the issues raised in the press conference. At the core of the press statement is that papers, the questions were leaked and that the examination should be retaken. The other matters are not at the core of it. Okay,
so at the heart of that statement, as you rightly mentioned, is the cancellation. So if it's not cancelled, if the exam that you wrote on Friday is not cancelled, what happens? What's going to be your next line of action?
Well, what we should do is what we are doing. Yes, the final decision will not rest with us. But what we should do is what we are doing. Yes, and if it is not cancelled, what next to do will decide that.
Away from that, the Narcotics Control Board, NACOB, has declared war on drug peddlers who use Ghana as a transit point. NACOB says it is going to fight drug distribution in the country with all its resources. This was revealed after the board destroyed 500 kilograms of marijuana at the Bondase military range.
NACOB in December 2017 impounded a truck full of dried leaves suspected to be cannabis at Bokono in the eastern region, following a tip-off. In all, 124 sacks containing dried leaves were retrieved from the truck. These included 72 sacks of compressed dried leaves and 52 sacks of uncompressed dry leaves. The distraction took place at Bondase military training camp, where the Narcotics Control Board destroyed 500 kilograms of marijuana and 100 kilograms of khat with a street value of 400,000 Ghana cedis. Solomon Stanley Ayo is Divisional Supervisor for Supply Reduction at NACOB.
When it comes to drugs, no nation is safe. I always set the example of the US with all its high tech and better than us and a whole lot of things. Drugs to go through that place. Ghana, we have a vast coastline which is not inhabited. One reason. Secondly, we have a very good port and good transport system, air flight. So the drug business deals with time. So they see that no, they can work here. But that doesn't mean our men at the airport are not working. I'm sure that will be the next question we come to. They are working 24/7. The men are working. But when it comes with drug, it needs a high intelligence to get the information on drugs. Because as you're standing here now, you are traveling outside, and I ask you to come for profiling. You may not be happy. And it could be true that you don't have any drugs, but it's our duty. So we actually deal with high intelligence, and part of our training, as part of our training, we are able to get those who are, but it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
The exercise was done by the joint effort of the Police, Military, EPA, Standards Authority and other stakeholders. Mr. Ayu sounded a stern warning to drug peddlers who use Ghana as transit for drug peddling.
Traffickers, you're going not less than 10 years, and all your assets, which are seen or actually believed or confirmed to be proceeds out of drug deal, will be confiscated to the state. It should also serve as a warning to all those who are engaged in drug trafficking or drug dealings. You may escape 1 or 2 times, but one day your cup will be full. And when we get you, we're going to deal with you. We seize your assets and destroy the drugs that you're dealing with.
The Narcotics Control Board, however, says it is intensifying its surveillance at various entry points, including the post offices, and assure the public of their continuous commitment at curbing illicit drug trade. Charity Emil Patel's report for Joy News. Bundasi Military Training.
So watching Joy News today. Now, Joy News' investigation has uncovered how the Ghana Bauxite Company evaded the payment of penalties for overloading haulage trucks to the tune of more than $90 million over a period of 6 years. This was done in connivance with some officials of the Ghana Highways Authority who operates the way bridges. After a year-long investigation, Joy News' Kwetinate brings you this report.
Documents obtained by Joy News reveal the Ghana Bauxite Company, GBC, which is run by Chinese corporations through Bauxite Mineral Groups in Western Region, avoided paying over $8.2 million in 2012 for overloading haulage trucks with bauxite. In 2013, the records show the penalty fine was $10.3 million. 2014 was $12.9 million, while the figure for 2015 was $16.1 million. In 2016, the penalty was $20.2 million. Last year, the Ghana Bauxite Company evaded penalty charges of $22.2 million, bringing the sum total to over $90 million. A top official of the company, who pleaded anonymity, claimed overloading of haulage trucks is normal.
Overloading of bauxite at Tawaso, it's a ritual which has been going on for a very long time. Yes, we could say most of the contractors are not happy with it, but because it's coming from the top, they have no choice than to comply. Because these Chinese guys, you know the way they work. If you are not in, if they decide for you and then you don't comply, you have to back out. So it's been going on for a very long time. I mean, the either weight loads are there, that the total weight, that means the gross, that's the cargo plus the tire weight of the trucks should be like 60. And I can tell you for a fact that they are not paying any client less than 30 tons.
The Highways Authority acceptable weight for haulage trucks is 60 tons. Any weight beyond this limit attract charges. For example, anything beyond 8.5 tons extra attract 5,000 cedis. Waybills of vehicles that convey bauxite for the company, cited by Joy News, reveal trucks carry 90 tons of bauxite instead of 60 tons. Asked how the Bauxite Company is able to overload without being questioned, the senior staff said they have insiders who alert them when Highway Authority sent mobile vans to check the practice on the road.
As for the beating, they can always beat it because there's an insider. And from the Ghana Highways Authority, we get alerts every day. Anytime they're going to come on the road, they alert you guys that we are coming. So it's either you come by 6 buckets or you don't even come at all. So there are indications where the haulers have been told that this time around we are going to load like 6 buckets. That should be the normal. So those 6 buckets will go. And for the day or the period that they are going to be around, you will see maybe 6, 7, 8, or less than 10 trucks as compared to the normal operation period of, let's say, 80 to 100 trucks a day. So they'll be using like 10 trucks just to deceive the public. And trust me, this is a syndicate. It's from the top. Ghana Bauxite pays for them. Highways are into it. Contractor managing the axle weights are also in there. So it's a syndicate which has to be unraveled.
Some residents of Bogoso in Western Region who claim their roads are being destroyed by the overloading have been waging a campaign against the practice. Muniru Ziblim as one of the campaigners.
Ghana Bauxite Company are taking overload using our road. So I started this investigation since September 9th, 2015. That time, RCC are constructing Bogoso to Ayamfre, Takwa to Ayamfre road.
Let's stay with the story a bit further. And joining us on phone is the Deputy Commissioner, Large Taxpayer Office at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Edward Jamra. Mr. Jamra, thanks for joining us. We found out that these persons have also not been paying corporate tax. And are you aware?
Yes. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Jamra, we found out that... Mr. Jamra, are you there?
Hello?
Great. Mr. Jamra, if you can hear me. We found out that the Ghana Bauxite... Right. Mr. Jamra, my question was, the Ghana Bauxite Company, my question, Mr. Jamra, right, we are still trying to get a proper connection to Edward Jamra. He's a Deputy Commissioner in charge of the Large Taxpayer Office. We're trying to get an idea of exactly what is being done to ensure that they are not evading taxes, the Ghana Bauxite Company, I mean, because as part of our investigations, we found that the company has been evading corporate taxes as well. They've not been paying corporate taxes as well, and so not to use the expression evade. But so we'll try and get Mr. Jamra again. Mr. Jamra, if you can hear me, the question was that we found out that the Ghana Bauxite Company has not been paying corporate tax. Is your institution aware? Right. Jamra is the Deputy Commissioner of the Large Taxpayer Office of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and he's joined us on the line. Mr. Edward Jamra, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Jamra, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great.
Speak louder, please.
Now, we have found out that the Ghana Bauxite Company has not been paying corporate tax. Are you aware?
Yes.
Great. So what are the remedial measures being taken now?
Pardon?
What's the authority doing about it?
We are aware, but you see, for corporate tax, it's not that the current company is not paying, but Bauxite has not been paying corporate taxes for some time now, even before the takeover. Since 2000, and they've been reporting losses. However, after the takeover in 2010, I think February 2010 thereabout, the loss position has come down. So it's now improved.
Right.
Currently, they are showing profit per their financial statement. But because they have huge capital allowance carry forward and that of losses carry forward, which is allowed by the tax law, they've not been reporting chargeable income for some time now.
Okay, Mr. Jamra, let's, for the sake of our viewers who may not have the background, let's take a step back a bit. You said that there was a takeover in 2010. A takeover by whom?
But the takeover was on February 2010.
Yes, by whom?
By the new company.
Okay, so this is a Chinese company that's...
Yeah, the Chinese company.
Yes, that has taken over the mining of bauxite by the company from government.
Yeah, yes.
Great. And you said that they are now recording profits, but for some reason they are still able to avoid paying taxes. Explain that for us.
That's correct.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that their financial position has improved.
Okay.
They've moved from the loss position to a profit position.
Yeah.
However, they've not moved to a taxable profit yet because of the huge losses carried forward and the capital allowances brought forward.
Okay. Now, we understand that an audit was carried out into the Ghana Bauxite Company. What did you find?
Yes. Pardon?
What did you find when you carried out this audit?
That is confidential to the taxpayer, between the tax authority and the taxpayer.
What was the purpose of the audit?
Oh, it's part of our routine audit activity to audit activities of taxpayers.
And after this
to
audit,
find out whether they have complied with our tax laws, paid all their taxes, and ensure that all the revenue that is due the state are collected.
And after this audit, the authority is satisfied with the compliance or otherwise of the Ghana Bauxite Company?
No, there are some which are still outstanding, and it has been referred to as specialized unit.
How much?
For instance, currently we have issue with them which we haven't resolved, and that has to do with the price of the bauxite, which they sell to their related party.
What is this issue?
Of contention between us and them.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Edward Jamra, for joining us. He is the Deputy Commissioner at the Ghana Revenue Authority. The second part of that investigative piece airs tomorrow. It contains a response from the Ghana Highways Authority and concerns raised about the issue by Ghana's Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's move away from the issue, and the Ministry of Health says it will be meeting with agitated members of the Ghana Medical Association GMA as it hopes to return to the negotiation table over concerns bordering on unpaid allowances, among others. The Ghana Medical Association, at the end of its 4th annual Executive Council meeting, tabled demands they expect government to meet. The association says it will embark on an industrial action if these demands are not met. A major concern for the doctors is settlement of unpaid allowances, which, according to them, government has been lackadaisical in honoring. But speaking to Joy News, a public relations officer of the Ministry of Health, Robert Kujo, said the ministry is ready to meet with them.
So I'm pleading with my colleague, my brothers, to exercise patience. If they are called, they should come. And then also we should meet at a point, come to a compromise and see how best some of the issues raised could be addressed immediately, and those cannot be addressed now, could be pushed to another time when it becomes appropriate to handle them. So this is a matter that borders on life and death, and we are all involved.
These are issues that has been on the table before, and there's been some back and forth with the ministry. Initially, they wanted to go on April, and the ministry said they should give time till June, and here we are, 30th of July, and it doesn't look like anything has happened. Do you think that within this short period, the doctors would have a change of mind?
I don't think we can say anything has happened. I mean, some measures have been addressed. I told you now, one of their concerns, their postgraduate training programs are going to be, whatever costs involved, be borne by the government. And other measures have also been put in place to address the issues. The minister will not sit down for the strike action to happen, for lives to be lost. So I don't think this is an issue that anybody will just be laughed over it.
Robert Wisdom Kujo there now. Effective Monday, August 6th, the GMA intends withdrawing OPD services from all public health facilities and intensify their actions in subsequent weeks if government fails to heed their calls. Let's speak to General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Justice Yankson. He joins us on phone. Good afternoon, Dr. Yankson. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon.
Great. Now, a threat to embark on industrial action by the GMA seem to have become an annual phenomenon. Would we as a country ever be able to move away from this?
Well, for me, this shouldn't even arise in the first place. But for the fact that the employer being government decides not to respect the decisions of the labor courts through the labor commission, and then when we have signed contracts of engagement through conditions of service, we as doctors discharge our bit of the bargain, and the employer being government decides not to implement them when they will have to discharge certain responsibilities. It is that imbalance which is skewed by way of the actions of the employer that has more or less resulted in what we keep hearing and saying. We as medical associations have not asked government to provide us with anything new. We are not asking for a pay rise or anything, even though our salaries can never take us home. But we are still coping with the little we have.
So what exactly are you asking for? What are the components of the unpaid allowances?
Well, these are not like allowances per se. All we are saying is that there are three items. We can link them to our direct, salaries or the single client pay policy. That has to do with our market premium, which is actually for some extra hours of work we do because of the shortages of doctors countrywide. We are more or less typically working more than the stipulated 40 hours that the ministry agrees. The ministry, per their own figures, is what the Labour Commission asked us to be paid on. 2, we have something we call reduced pensions and conversion difference. They know all the details. This has been outstanding since 2011, and we think things should be corrected. And then we have our conditions of service we signed with government in 2015, which took effect in January 2016.
Okay.
We are discharging our part of the bargain. Government is here to discharge theirs. So basically, these are the issues. But you see, when you have the labor court ruling through a compulsory arbitration, i.e. the labor commission, the compulsory arbitration from the labor commission, which has really been gazetted, the award and then the law says that this mindset and it is final. We are doing what we have to do, but government is not doing what they have to do. That clearly is not right. And from 2011, 2012 to date, issues relating to our pensions and all what have you in there are still outstanding, and we keep drawing government's attention. In fact, for this current situation, we gave government some 6 months as far back as February 2017. November 2017. That they had up to about 30th April to resolve all these things. That 6 months enough. We were magnanimous to give them another 2 months, even though they asked for 1 month, and then we'll give them another 1 month. Plus now an extra 1 week window. So we believe they should be able to work in that and bring matters to an end. Once they deliver, there will be nothing like any withdrawal of action or services or any industrial action in whatever form.
Thank you very much, Dr. Justice Yankson, for joining us. He's the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association. You're still watching Joy News. Today's story's gone by so far. Health Ministry to meet Ghana Medical Association over their intended industrial action to push for the settlement of unpaid allowances. Ghana School of Law students call for investigations into alleged leakage of entrance examination questions. They insist the papers must be cancelled and rewritten if the allegations are found to be true. And still to come on our Survivor series today, we tell you the story of a woman who lives on 10 Ghana cedis daily. How is that possible? We'll tell you more. Don't forget, there's also business, sports, and showbiz news coming up in this bulletin. Stay with us. Now, government last week announced the increment of daily minimum wage by 10% to stand at 10 cedis 65 pesos. But there are many Ghanaians who earn less and many who wish there were policies that could help them make that amount. Today, we share with you the story of Vida Edu, who earns 10 Ghana cedis daily to cater for herself and family. Nancy Dosi has the rest of the story.
On the busy streets of Accra, I meet 35-year-old Vida carrying a plastic bowl with sachet water in it. Vida is a mother of 2 and married to a wayside barber. She and her husband left their children in the village to find a better life here in Accra.
I used to sell fried fish back in the village, but I took a loan and I ran into losses, so I had to come to Accra and make a living. It's not easy surviving here.
Tema Station, Vida works here, hawking sachet water to the thousands who come here every day. She makes just 10 Ghana cedis, enough to buy Vida and her husband dinner of kenke and small pieces of fish.
Look about 10 and I 5. And let them home family try.
On a normal day, no, I hear from Piota business.
Piota is 10
cedis.
I sometimes take 5 bags of sachet water a day and I often get 10 cedis, but unfortunately I spend 8 cedis on transportation. The remaining 2 cedis I buy water and food.
2 cedis, just a little pure water every month.
20 pesos, Naka 1/8. Vida's husband also earns 20 Ghana cedis a day. But he needs to eat, buy blade, sharpen his scissors and clippers, and pay for his Okada ride home. Not much of the cash is left at the end of the day, but they still have to save and pay their children's school fees.
My 2
children are both in basic school. My husband and I managed to save the little we have to cater for their needs. It's not easy.
Yes, government may have increased the minimum wage by 10%, making it stand at 10 cedis 65 pesos. But Vida does not even earn that. I asked her how she thinks government can help them to ensure they also earn that minimum wage.
Government can help me get a shop or anything else that can help me get more than I earn.
For the likes of Vida in Ghana, who do not understand what minimum wages, all they want is government to improve their living conditions. Nancy Dosi, Joy News.
So watching Joy News today, it's time for business. Stay with us.